Hello, people. Good evening to all of you. We only have 2 people in the class. Okay, that's a shame, people. I thought there would be more people today. Given that today is our last class. Anyway, that's okay. Even with one person, I'm willing to do the class. Hello, Ilma. It's just the 2 of you, right? I think hopefully others will join. I don't want to wait that long today, people, because, because we need to talk about a lot of things today, right? So don't worry, I'm not going to drag the class today. Now, in the last 3 weeks, I dragged the class, people, but not today, right? So this is what we are going to do. It's just the 2 of you, right? So in my Nudani, we'll quickly look at the questions and then we'll talk exam strategy, right? I think that's the most important part of today's discussion, right? Not the answers to the questions, right? Exam strategy. We need to talk exam strategy now, right? So you only have what? I think, a few more days, yeah, maybe 7 to 8 days for your exam, right? Less than 2 weeks for sure, right? So, we need to definitely talk about how to tackle the exam, right? You have to understand, right, when you sit for the exam, most of the candidates, 99% of the candidates, they prepare, very well for the exam, but, things don't work out in the way that they expect, meaning they flunk and they repeat. Yeah. So what goes wrong? The don't do's and the must do's during that 3 hours and 15 minutes crucial time slot is what we are going to talk under exam strategy, people, right? Anyway, so without further ado, we'll get down to business straight away, people. So please open the handout that I have shared on the group. So I have selected a few questions on transfer pricing and advanced variances, right? So these two are very, very crucial areas of your syllabus, right? So, like I told you last week, I keep the best, the most important stuff for last, right? There you go, people. So we are looking at 2 questions on transfer pricing, 3 questions on variances, right? So we're not going to look at everything today, people, right? We will be looking at 2 questions. What I want to look at is 2, right? One from transfer pricing and one from variances, right? Let's see whether we can answer at least 2 questions on variances. But, for this time slot to be very effective, right? For this to be very effective, I have to give you time to work things out on your own, people. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, so we'll start with variances, right? Okay, so when talking about variances, you need to remember that in your syllabus they talk about 3 main variances. Yeah, material mix and yield, sales mix and quantity, and then planning and operational variances, right? You have to understand advanced variances are used when the organization is producing more than one product and when the organization is using more than one type of material in the production process. Yes, okay. So you're looking at modern organizations. Modern organizations, they do, they manufacture a lot of different products, right? Okay. So we are looking at modern organizations, people. But in your question, sometimes, you'll be looking at just one, output, one type of output. Yeah. 2 types of, different output. But remember, advanced variances are used in the context of multiple material or multiple product portfolios, right? Okay. So material mix and yield. What does it mean, people? Now you can look at the technical definition. Now if I were you, I would not worry about technical definitions at all, because you can't keep everything in your head, not possible. People, material mix, in its simplest, this is how I can explain it, right? Let's say you're planning to produce, let's say you're planning to manufacture, let's say make cakes. Let's say you're running a cake factory, right? You have different types of cake, right? So for each cake, people, the material that you use are going to be more or less the same: flour, sugar, butter, you know, the three main ingredients are going to be the same across all your different cakes that you offer, right? Okay. So that's one very important thing that you have to remember, right? You can use flour when you bake butter cakes, when you bake chocolate cakes, when you bake whatever, right? In any cake, you need flour, right? In most of the cakes. And you need sugar, right? And butter, right? Okay. Let's say this is the same example that I, explained in class, Ilma, if you're, if you can recall this. This is the easiest way to grasp this material mix concept, people, right? Okay, so let's say you're budgeting. This is the budget. So per cake, you're like, okay, per cake, ingredients, and quantities. So this is your budget. Huh? So you're like, okay, flour, you need like 500 grams. Sugar, let's say 500 grams. And then butter, 500 grams. There you go. So this is your input for your cake, right? You put these three, you mix them, you bake them, do whatever, you get one cake, right? Okay. So what is my total material input? Total material input. How much is that? So that's 1.5 kilograms. Total material input is this, right? People, so this is called a standard mix, the budgeted mix. This is called the budgeted mix. Yeah, this is called the budgeted mix. So now, in order to make this more clear, right, I can say out of total material, this is my total material, no? Flour accounts for 500 grams should be divided by 1.5 kilos. No, that's 1,500 grams. No? So this accounts for how much, people? 33%, right? Sugar, how much? Same, right? 33%. Butter, same thing, 33%. This is how your input is, input is made up of, right? Guys, 1 second, please. 1 second. Right. Sorry about that, people. So as I was saying, I didn't share the screen. No? Right. Okay. So I'm talking about variances. Okay. Advanced variances. Under that, I'm talking about material mix variance. Okay. So I'm trying to explain this mix variance, people. Right. Don't look at the technical definition. Once you understand the concept in simple terms, then you'll be able to remember the technical definition or the technical explanation. I'm coming up with a very simple explanation, right? So you're baking cakes, you're running a cake factory, you have different types of cakes, right? But for each cake, the main material that you use, main ingredients that you use are these three. Let's say per cake, these are the quantities that you require. So this is my total material input, 1.5 kilos. This is called the budgeted mix, people, right? This is called the budgeted mix, right? So if I'm to explain the budgeted mix in a more simplified way, there you go. Out of total input, 1,500 grams, 500 grams is flour. So that is 33%. People, sugar, butter, you're looking at the same percentage. This is your budget. Now, let's say you actually do the, you bake cakes in reality, right? So, and then you do a quick calculation, and then you identify per cake, actual quantities used. Right? So let's say you're looking at actual data. Actual data. See, flour, let's say 500 grams, sugar, 400, and butter, let's say, actually you have used 600 grams. So, shall we make this, you know what, then you're getting the same this thing, no? Shall we make flour 600, right? People, do you see that in your actual production, you have used more material than you budgeted? This is called the actual mix. This is called the actual mix, right? Actual mix. So you can clearly see that you have used more flour than you budgeted, less sugar than you budgeted, and more butter than you budgeted. Yes. People, material mix is the difference between the actual quantities used and the budgeted quantities used. That's your mix variance. Are we clear? That's your mix, right? Material yield. Now, yield is the output, people. It's another term for output. Yeah. Now, according to your budget, you put 1.5 kilograms of input, you get one output, no? Right? 1.5 kg of input. This is equal to 1 unit of output. Let's say 1 kg of output. 1 kg of output. Yeah. But in reality, what has happened? 1.6 kilograms of input led to 1 kilo of output. People, there you go. People, yield variances always deal with the output. Mix variances always deal with the input. Right? That's something you need to remember. Okay. Are we clear, people? Yield is output per input, the ratio. So I'm going to say yield variance, output per input ratio, right? Mix variance, right? Mix variance only deals with budgeted input and budgeted input and actual input. There you go. Because we have to understand, when the input ratios differ, your output is also going to differ. So here you have used more input per output, no? So that means you have been somewhat less effective in your production process, less efficient. You have used more material, right, per unit of output than you budgeted. There you go. That is what gives rise to yield. Are we clear? That's how you need to remember material mix and yield variances. That's the idea, right? Now you look at the definition and you build on it, right? You can't just look at the definition and try to understand, okay, this is mix, this is yield. No, you look at it with a question. That is how things can become very, very simple. Right. Okay. What are they asking you to do? This question is a very basic one, right? But this is a must-do question according to your examiner. It's a must-do question. Yeah. Calculate the following variances: material usage for each ingredient, and in total material mix, total material yield. Right, people. I will give you 15 minutes to do this. Right, you're going to try this on your own. Okay. Right. Go ahead, Peter. 15 minutes. Right. But I can't seem to zoom in on the document. I don't know why. Wait. What's that? Okay, please look at the document that I shared on the group and then you do it. Not going to give you that long, huh? Ah. Do everything on Excel. Do not do anything on the notebook. Huh? Everything should be done in your Excel sheet. Okay, go ahead, people. 20 minutes. Okay, people, 20 minutes is up. Let's quickly look at this. So calculating usage variance for each ingredient is not going to be that difficult, no? Right? Okay, so I'm just going to highlight the important parts. Produces omega using 3 ingredients, right? Okay. Uh, 3 ingredients, alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so standard material cost for 100 kilograms of omega, right? Uh, yeah, yes, exactly. That's what, Ilma. You need to get used to it, right? It's very hard to type, you're way, far, how do I put it? You're way away from your comfort zone, right? Your comfort zone is the book. So, no, you can't, it takes a lot of time. Right. Anyway, people, so they're giving you material for 100 kilograms of input is what you need to understand. 100 kilograms of output, right? So for 100 kilograms of output, there you go, you need 40 kilos of alpha, beta, gamma. So there you go, this is your standard mix, right? The mixing and heating process is subject to standard evaporation laws. Alpha, beta, gamma agricultural products, their quality and price vary significantly from year to year, right? So they're agricultural products. Quality and price varies. Okay, standard prices are set at average market price over the last 5 years. My goodness. So you're looking at these prices, right? Standard prices are based on average market prices. So how have they averaged? They have taken the prices of the last 5 years, right? And averaged, and these are the prices that they derive. Kappa has a purchasing manager who's responsible for, right, purchasing manager responsible for pricing and supplier contracts. Okay. The standard mix is set by the finance department. Huh? Okay. So the standard mix set by finance department. Okay. The last time this was done was at the product launch was 5 years ago. My goodness. So the standard, this is the standard, people, standard mix. It's done by the finance department. So they've been using the same standard that was set like 5 years back. So same standard. People, do you see that they say agricultural products, alpha, beta, gamma, they're agri products. Quality and price varies. Forget price, quality is varying. Right? Quality is not the same across the years, people. But they're using the same standard, no? People, that itself tells you that there is a problem. Right? The statements are contradicting, right? So when your input quality is low, you have to use more and more input, no? Right? But that is not captured here. Why? Because they are using the same standard that was set 5 years ago, right? 4,000 kilograms of omega was produced. This is actual, no? Right, there you go, blah, blah. At the end of each month, production manager receives a standard cost operating statement from Kappa's performance manager. The statement contains material, price, and usage variance. So the production manager is getting an operating statement. Operating statement is a statement that contains all the variances, right? So the statement contains material price usage variances, labor rate efficiency variances, and overhead expenditure variances for the previous month. No commentary on the variance is given. So the production manager is so confused. He's getting a statement, right? Now, production manager is the one who's responsible for all this, right? But he's not getting a detailed breakdown. He's getting only the statement. In the operating statement, what you see is only the variance, right? Only that answer, not the calculation, no. And production manager receives no feedback on the efficiency, people, and looking at bad things, people. bad things, right? Okay, so material usage variance. Now I'm going to show you the answer straight away without taking that long, people. One sec. There is people. Now see, there you go. Oh gosh. Right. Okay. People, they're asking you to calculate, variances, right? Individual. So beta. So I'm basically calculating, there you go, standard kilo, right? Okay. This was my example, right? People, look at this, please, right? Right. So, individual variances, did you calculate the individual variances? Hmm? Did you calculate the individual variances, right? Here, people, you have the individual variances, I think, right? Okay, wait. Wait, guys, one second. I think I need to do a lot of formatting for this. Hold on. Answers, day 4. Yeah. Okay. Look at this, please. Individual variance calculation is very simple. So what you need to do is you need to look at the, now they have produced 4,600 kilos of omega, right? This is the input for 100 kilograms, right? So when you calculate the individual variances, people, individual usage, no? So this is per 100 kilogram of output. So you need to multiply this by 46, no? Right? So for example, it's a usage variance alpha, right? So what's my actual usage alpha? 2,200, right? 2,200. This is my actual, right? Actual. And then, according to the budget, you need 40 kilograms to produce 100 kilos of omega. So you have produced 4,600, no? So I need to multiply 40 by 46, no? Right? 40 kilos by 40. How much is that? That's your budgeted usage for actual output. Are we clear? So 40 into 40, that's 40 into 40. How much is that, people? 1,600 kilos, no? 1,600 kilos. People, so this is adverse, no? I'm sorry. Yes, this is adverse. You need to multiply this by the standard rate. Yeah. So the difference is 400. Sorry, difference is 2,200 minus 1,600. 600. You need to multiply this by the standard rate per kilo, which is 2. Right. So 1,600 into 2. Right. So this gives you an adverse variance of how much? 1,200. 12. People who got this, Ilma, did you get this? There are 5 people in the class. Did you get this? Everyone got this 1,200 people. Do I need to explain this in detail? Shall I look at the mixed variances now? Are we clear? Oh, sorry. People, I think I'm sharing the wrong handout. Wait, there's one second. I'm sharing the wrong bloody handout. Yeah, wait, hold on. Oh my God. Right, there you go. People, usage variance is actual usage minus the budgeted usage. So actual, they say alpha is 2,200. Yeah, 2,200. And then they say you need 40 kilos for 100 output. We have 4,600 output. So I need to multiply 40 by 46, no? 40 by, yeah, 46. Oh gosh, I made a mistake, people. 40 by 46. Yeah. 1,840 kilos. So your variance is definitely adverse. 360. You should be getting a variance of 720 adverse, people. Yeah. 720. Right? Okay. So this is for alpha, right? For beta, let's see, actual usage is how much. I'll do it for beta as well. Actual usage is 2,500. I'll do that. Yeah. Actual usage is 2,500 kilos. I'll say actual. Beta, you need 60 kilos per 100, no? Right? So you have 46 like that. So 16 to 46. 2,760, right? 2,760 kilos. That's your budgeted usage for actual output, people, right? So the difference between these two, that's your kilos in, that's your difference in kilos, again adverse, 2,760. So it's 260. You need to multiply this by, again 2, no? Right? So therefore, this is also adverse. 460 should be adverse, no? 460 adverse. People, are you getting these values? Are you getting these values? So I multiply 60 by 46, right? 60 by 46. Ilma, did you get this value? 40 by 46. Yeah, 60 by 46. Yeah. What is the question? Yeah, we are doing this kappa. Abdul, we are doing kappa. Cost is 5. Yeah. Cost is 5, no? 5. So 260 into 5, 1,300. Right, yeah. 1,300. Yes, it should be adverse. Yes. Now you get the point, no? Right. Now let's look at the mix variance. Right. So people, now they ask you to calculate the total mix variance. Favorable. Yes, because you're using, yes, Your actual usage is less, 2,500, correct. It should be favorable. Thank you. Yes, Ilma. Right? Okay. So like that, you need to calculate it for, alpha, beta, and gamma, right? So, and then you get the total of variance that is your total usage variance. That's pretty basic. No? I'm not going to do it because you're looking at the basic variance here. Now they ask you to do material mix, right? Like I said, material mix is the difference between your budgeted mix and your actual mix, right? So what are the steps in doing that, people? Yeah, yes, very good. Steps. These are the steps, people. Wait, show data. Now let me show the other. Yeah. So firstly, guys, what you need to do is you need to do the standard mix, right? You need to determine the standard mix. So standard mix, well, it's given straight away in the question. And then what you do is you figure out the proportions like this, right? Then what do? I apply the standard mix, the proportions to the actual usage. Actual usage is, there you go, 5,620. So there you go, you get these values. Once you get these values, mixed variance calculation becomes a joke, right? Okay, so what do? From the actual quantity, I minus the budgeted quantity. From the actual, I minus budgeted. These are all kilos, people, right? See, actual is 2,200. Budgeted is 1,873. See, actual is higher, so therefore this is definitely adverse. Here, actual is lower. See, budgeted is higher, so therefore this is favorable. Here, actual is lower and the budgeted is higher, right? So therefore this is also favorable. Once you get the differences, you multiply it by the standard cost. There you go, people. This is your total mixed variance, 913. Did everyone get this value? 913. Ilma, did you get this value? 913. Yeah, pretty basic. Pretty basic. The others, Abdul just joined the class. Yumna, Udani, and Shuaib, and Rizvi. Right. Yeah, see, it's a pretty basic sum. Very, very basic sum. Yeah, okay. Got it. Right. Okay. Once you do the material mix, now you do material yield, right? Material yield, people, I told you, yield always deals with the output, right? When you do the yield variance, you can copy this same table that you do in the mixed variance. Same table, but one small thing changes, right? What is that? The standard usage at standard mix, right? So yield variance, like I said, people, when your actual, now, in my example, can you remember my example? So you put 1.5 kilos of, material into one cake, no? But actually you ended up putting 1.6 kilos. So, you need to put more material to get one cake according to the real situation. But according to your plan, the budget, you wanted to put 1.5 input for every output. There you go. So less input for every output. But in reality, you ended up putting more input for every output. Are you clear? Right. So how do you calculate the yield variance, people? Yield variance is you deducting the actual usage at your standard mix, right? Which you calculated from the mix variance, right? That's why I said you can, quickly show this in your, you can copy paste, your mix variance table into your yield, right? You need to make just one small change, people, right? So how do you get the standard usage at standard mix, people? How do you get that? Hmm? How do you get that? Right. People, did you calculate the yield variance? Ilma, did you calculate the yield variance? Yeah. The others, what about the others? Hmm? Yield variance? Right. Okay. Life has calculated it. Okay, very good. So how do you get 1080, 1840 people? Can someone send me the working? Now I showed the working for the, mix. Let's say multiply kilo per unit into actual quantity. Multiply kilo per unit into actual quantity. When I said SQSCAM for you told, yeah, now actually, see, Abdul, you can put whatever you want. Now, this is actually the standard term, right? The standard term that you have in your examiner's, method. What I do is you can put any amount, you can put any any what do you call heading you want, Abdul. I may have gotten a bit confused there. Yeah, so you can put SQSM, standard usage. Now, if you look at the yield variance calculation, you can calculate it in two ways, right? You can calculate the answer in two ways. I think what I wrote was not this. I may have written standard usage at actual mix something, no? What was the standard usage? Ilma, what was the heading that we put in class for this yield variance thing? Wait, there are two ways to get the answer. That's what. Standard usage, budgeted quantity at standard mix. No, BQSN. Standard mix, same thing. So, no. Wait, let me show you my handout. Wait one second. I'm going to show you that there are two ways to get the material yield, that part. Hold on one second. Are there yield variance, material yield, like calculate standard quantity at standard mix. Or there you, this is the other way. Total standard quantity, material used to produce actual output. I think this is the heading that I used the other day. Standard quantity for actual output. I think this is what I used the other day, if I'm not mistaken, Abdul. You're looking at the same thing, more or less, is what you need to understand. Yeah, right. Please don't get confused. If you're like, if you are used to like, a certain, equation, certain method, you stick to that, right? Okay. Uh, yeah. So, right, yes. So how do you calculate these people? Now, is it, I'm looking at material yield. So people now, do you see, I just wanted to highlight something. Now, you know that there are two ways to get the yield variance, right? You can use the weighted average method. See, they don't tell you the method that you need to use. You can use either method. I think this is the easiest method out of the two, right? This is easy to remember, right? Okay. So, what is this, people? So, standard usage for actual output. I'm going to write standard usage for actual output. Now this makes more sense, right? This is when you read, when you have this particular term, it makes it easy for you to calculate the answer for this, right? Standard usage for actual output, right? I'm going to erase these values. What is my actual output? 4,600 kilos now, right? What is the standard usage of alpha, right? It's alpha 40, no? See, 40 over 120, right? That's my standard usage, 40 over 120. Like this is how I get that value, 1,840, right? So I'll just keep the value, standard usage for actual output. Let me write this. Actual output is 4,600 kilos. That I need to multiply by 40 over 120. So 4,600 kilos of output into the other one is 60 over 120. Right? You get the idea? Right. You get the idea, right, people? Okay. So what do I need to do, people? This is the standard usage. This is the actual usage. See, actual usage is higher. So therefore, what do? You say it's adverse. This one, actual usage is higher, adverse. Here, actual usage is higher, adverse. People, are we clear? Did you get this? So there you go. Your yield variances are all adverse, meaning you have used more material per output. So your production has not been that efficient, people. I mean, no wonder, now I'm going to talk about let's talk about the answer to part C. So I'm saying that you have not been very efficient. I mean, no wonder, right? Because see, these standards were set 5 years back, right? They clearly tell you that the agricultural products, alpha, beta, gamma, their quality is changing every year. So low quality means you have to use a lot of material. High quality means you have to use less amount of material. There you go. Now, they're asking me to talk about the problems with the current system of calculating and reporting variances for assessing performance of production manager. Now, when you type the answer, people, make sure to type very short sentences. Now, for example, now here you have the answer, people. My answer is there, right? There you go. Yes. If you look at my answer, it's very short sentences that you're looking at. See, Kappa has a purchasing manager. See, just a few words. Any idiot can write a sentence like this. They have a purchasing manager. They have a production manager. So I'm telling, look here, production manager does not have control over those purchasers, right? The purchasing manager is the one who makes all the purchases, not the production manager. See, purchasing manager who's responsible for pricing, right? So he's the one who's purchasing, right? So, the rate differentials, right? So let's say you're budgeting to buy at 2, but actually you end up paying 3. So is that the manager's fault, right? Should you put the blame on the manager? No, hell no. Because my manager, he's the production manager. He's just doing the production. He has nothing to do with, he doesn't do anything that's related to pricing. Right? There you go. I want you to learn from my answer points, people. Yeah. Very short sentences. See, break the answer in this way. Don't write long as sentences. Break the answer. Are we clear? Okay, what are the problems, people? What are the problems? You can clearly see that these standards, they were set 5 years ago, they're still using them, right? Wait, hold on. 4,000. Wait. Now my value is incorrect. What? 4,600 divided by, this is 1 over 3, no? Divided by 3. 1,005 something, no? People, wait, I think I have made a small. Yeah. Sorry, it should be, uh, wait, it is divided by 120, not 100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so what did I do? I divided it by, yeah, but the working is written wrong. Oh, so 4,600, 40 over 12, that's 0.33, no? Answer is right. Wait. What is this? 4,600 is my output. I need to multiply it by 40 over 100. Wait. Oh, right. 40 over 100. Hold on. 40 over 100. Wait, I have put that value. Oh gosh. 4,600. Wait. 4,600 into 0.4. Yeah. Actually, these values are, my working is right, Ilma, but the answer is wrong. No? The answer is wrong. See, answer is right. How come? Wait, my proportion 40 divided by 120. How much is that?
So the budget is given for 100 kilos. So we have to divide 40 by 100 and not 120 because 120 is the total for all three
Is the material output? No. Oh, right. Yeah. My goodness. Thank you, Ilma. Yes. Now, that was a very valid question. What was it? Yeah, sure. 4,600. Now, I'm very sorry. This should be not divided by 120. It should be divided by 100. You know why? Because, they're giving you material quantities per 100 kilogram of output, right? So per 100 kilogram of output, you need 40 alpha. So for 4,600 kilogram of output, you need how much of alpha? Alpha. That's this much, people. Yeah, it should be like this. Yes, 4,600 into, it's not 100. We need to now. I clearly told you that, no, my mistake. I clearly told you that yield variance, deals with my output, not input. So output is 100, right? 100 kilos. For you to get 100 kilos of output, you need, so I'm looking at, gamma. You need 20 kilograms of input, no? 20 kilograms of input. So therefore, to get 4,000 kilograms of output, this is how much you need. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Right. Okay, sure. Right. Thank you for asking that question. I wrote it wrong. Right. Right. Super. Okay. So what are the problems with this variance analysis, people? Sorry, this question. Number one, you're looking at very old, outdated standards, right? People, outdated standards can be used if things stay the same, but things are not staying the same. No? See, agricultural products, their quality, they vary from 1 year to 1 year. Sorry, from 1 year to another. So therefore, your standard quantities are going to change. When standard quantities change, people, your output is also going to change, right? The mix is set by the finance department. People, I don't understand why the mix is set by the finance department. Finance, man, what they do is all, accounting, and finance. Why are they putting the standard? Why are they setting the standard? I don't get that, right? But I think it's a normal thing here because, maybe I think we need to talk about it. You can say, okay, the finance department setting the standard mix is a bit, well, yeah, it's strange. It's not right. It should be set by the production department because they are the ones who do the production, not the finance now. So that's all. Standard mix. Anyway, the standard is wrong. Standard being set by the finance department, that is also wrong. And it was set 5 years ago, that's so wrong, right? Then the production manager is getting only operating statement. What the hell? He should be getting a proper variance analysis, like a report, clearly showing, okay, this was the actual, this was the budget, this was the actual, this was the budget, like that. Nothing like that. So problem. Are we clear? And there is no feedback. Manager receives no feedback, no commentary on variances. People, you have enough and more things to talk about. So the manager is never going to know where he went wrong and what like things that he did, like, good. The good things that he did and the bad things that he did, he's never going to know because no comments are provided, no other feedback. So that's wrong, right? So here there are two managers, people. Remember, the purchasing manager and the production manager. Are we clear? The purchasing manager has, control over pricing, not the production manager. So production manager should not be evaluated based on prices, right? Here, production manager is being evaluated on standards that was set like long time ago. People, that is also wrong. So this analysis, this system is very, very wrong, is what you need to say. Are we clear? People, remember, Britishers hate long sentences. You always write very short sentences like this. Number of points with brief explanations. Brief explanations, people. See, brief, 2 lines, 3 lines. You don't have to write an answer this big, right? No need. But if you can write at least like 3 to 4 points with a few explanations, with brief explanations, it should be fine. Now, when you talk about outdated standards, you put a heading, outdated standards, and then you talk about it. It was set like long time back. Things are changing, so standard cannot be expected to stay the same over time. Therefore, this is going to affect the variance analysis. This is going to affect the actual, when compared with the actual results. It's natural that we see a lot of variances. I like that. Yeah, you get the point. Are we clear, people? Very basic, very, very basic. Are we clear? Right. Okay. So that's a pretty basic question. Now let's do another one. Let's do another one, people. Now I want you to try this question. Planning and operation. Planning and operational variances, right? People, please try this question. I'll give you, now this question is not that difficult, right? Yeah, within 20 minutes, I think you should be able to do this like in full. Quickly do this, people, planning and operation. Now remember, planning and operational people, let me give you some context. So, what happens in reality is companies set the budget at the beginning of the period and they compare their budgeted like outcomes against the actual outcomes at the end of the period. So, you wait for 12 months. Within that 12 months, a lot of things can happen, right? Especially if you're operating in a country like Sri Lanka, people, you're going to get massive variances, right? Because things change. Market is very volatile. So planning and operational variances, the argument is this. Please make revisions to the budget, right? From time to time, make revisions, because if you don't make revisions, your variances are going to be massive. So if you don't compare, I'm sorry, if you don't have this revised budget, people, then you'll be comparing original budget against actual variances. Yeah. So you get massive variances. When you get massive variances, either manager's performance is boosted or it's downgraded, right? And it doesn't show a true picture of the performance of the division or the performance of the company. So please revise the budget from time to time. So planning variance is when you compare the original budget against your revised budget. Operating variance, so operational variance is when you compare your revised budget against the actual outcome. Are we clear? So you can calculate planning and operating variances for any variance, people. You can calculate it for material usage, material price, labor rate, labor usage, variable, expenditure, variable efficiency. You can calculate planning and operating variances for any variance that is out there, people. Sales price, anything, sales volume. Okay, right. Look at this and quickly start doing the questions, right? I'll give you 20 minutes. Okay, people, are you there? Shall we quickly go through this? Right. Uh, Part A, calculate the material variances in as much as detail as the information allows for the month of February. Calculate labor efficiency variances in as much as detail as the information allows for the month of February. Assess the performance, right? This is going to highlight the key information, people. So, school uniform company, SU, right? So largest contracts is with GPST, 35 schools. Okay. So you're into school uniforms. After a recent review, the school spring summer dress has been redesigned. Each new dress now requires, okay, 2.2 meters, 10% more material than previous style. Okay. So 2.2 meters is 10%. 2.2 meters, people, this has that 10% more material, people. So you need to, if you want to get the original material, original material meters, you need to divide 2.2 by 1.1, no? Right, 10% more, no? So what's 2.2 divided by 1.1? That's 2 meters. There you go. So previously it was 2 meters, now 2.2. New material has also been used, right? New material has also been used, which costs only 2.85 per meter, which is 5% cheaper than the material used in the previous dress, right? So people, 2.2 is new, this is old, right? So 2.85, this is 5% cheaper, no? So if I want to get the original rate, I need to divide this by 0.95. Yeah, so 2.85 divided by 0.95, people, that's how much? 3. So the new rate, old rate was 3, but now it's 2.85. Yeah, right. This is meters, this is labor cost. Labor cost. So you need to do your workings like this, people, like very fast. Like, don't take that long. As you read, you do it. Total material amount used and purchased, 54,560. Okay. The design of the new dress has meant that a complicated new sewing technique needed. All staff required training before they could begin production. Manager of the sewing department expected new dresses to take 10 minutes as compared to 8 minutes for the old style. So people, minutes have to be shown in hours. So 10 minutes, that is 10 divided by 60, no? Right? 10 divided by 60, that's 0.17. Yeah. And then earlier it was 8 minutes. So 8 divided by 60. 8 divided by 60, that's 0.13. Okay. So you're looking at 0.13 hours. So this is labor hours. Labor hours. This is new. This is old. Right. They have 24 staff. 24 staff, right? They're talking about the number of people. 24 staff, each of whom works 160 hours per month, right? So 24 staff, each works 160 hours and is paid a wage of 12, right? So they're giving you information about labor rate now, right? So you have 124 labor, no? Right. 2.85 is the material. Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, material cost. Sorry. Material cost. My bad. Yes. This is meters. Material meters. I'll say meters. Yeah. Right. Oops. Let's put the information here. New, old. So I'm just going to show you the information, people, and tell you the variances that you need to calculate, right? So they are talking about labor. Sorry, this is 0.17 is, yeah, hours, no? So they have 24 staff, 160 hours per month. So actual, they tell you actual, I think we can calculate actual hours, no? Actual hours. So they tell you 24 staff, each works 160 hours per month, right? So 24 into 160. This is the total hours, no? 3,840. Let's see. All staff worked all of their contracted hours, and there was no idle time. Okay. Activity level. So budgeted production and sales 30,000. Actual production and sales 24,000. Right. So they are giving me actual data, people, and budgeted data. Production manager responsible for all purchasing and production issues. Oh, right. Okay. Standard costing, and usually every time a design change takes place, the standard cost card is updated prior to production commencing. That's a good thing. So when a design change is happening, the standard cost card is updated. That's good. However, the company accountant responsible for updating standards off sick for the last 2 months. Oh, consequently, standard cost card for the new dress has so the accountant is now sick. So he has not been he has not been in the office for the last 2 months. So the cost card has not been updated, right, people? Okay, so material variances, people. So what can you do? You can calculate material price variance. No, you can calculate material price variance. You can calculate material usage variance. Yes, you can calculate material price, material usage. People, now here they tell you that blah, blah, blah. See, there's been a new design change. So your things are changing, no? Right. Firstly, you can calculate your normal material price. Normal material price, right? So standard price is 2, no? Standard price is 2, right? Actual price, do you know the actual price? Actual price was how much? A new material, blah, blah, blah. 2.85, yeah, 2.85 per meter, no? Yes. Standard price was 3, no? 3, yeah. Material price, standard price 3, actual price 2.85. That into actual meters that they used. Actual meters, people, what is the actual meters? 54,560 meters, right? 54,560, right? This is my material price, material usage. Okay. So according to the old design, you needed only 2 meters, no? 2 meters. That into how much is the actual? 2 meters. That into how many uniforms, people? Actual production and sales 24,000, no? So 2 meters into 24,000, and the Actual usage was 54,560. 54,560. Right. This into what is the standard cost per kilo? 3. Per meter, 3. People, are you getting these values? So material price variance, people. So actual is less. So therefore, this should be a favorable variance. This should be 2 into 24,048. You ended up using much more, no? So this is adverse. People, you should be getting these two as your variances, right? One favorable, one adverse. Now, people, do you understand that you can actually do planning and operational for what? You can do planning and operational for 10% more material. I think you can do a planning and operational variance for material usage, no? Material usage, right? Planning variance, material usage. Material usage. Let's see people. Right. So the key to answering planning and operational variances, people, is to have a format like this, right? Original budget, this is revised, and actual. You have to have a small format like this, right? Material usage, no, original usage was how much? 2 meters. What is the actual output? 24,000, right? Revised, people, they said that you're going to use 2.2 meters, no? 2.2 meters, right? How many? What is the actual production? 24,000. There is no need to revise price. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we can do material price for planning. I don't think we can do that. Yeah. So actual, how much did they use? 54,560 meters. No? There you go. See, so easy to get the variance, people. So you need to multiply each of these by the standard price, which is $3. You need to multiply by $3, not the new price. Right. People, there you go. Right. So what is this? 24,000 into 2 into 3. 144. Here, 24,000 into 2.2 into 3. People, here you're looking at definitely adverse, no? Because see, originally you plan to use only 2 meters, but now you're using 2.2, so therefore this is adverse, right? You take the difference, that's your adverse. So this one, 54,560 into 3, 160. So people, you have used more, no? You have used more, so therefore this is also adverse. People, are you clear? Are you clear, people? See how easy this is, people? Show your answer in this way in the exam. It will not take a lot of time if you show it this way, people. Are we clear? Are we clear, people? So you can do the same thing for labor efficiency, right? We'll do it for labor efficiency as well, right? So labor efficiency, you can do labor efficiency variances, right? So I'll do the normal labor efficiency. Labor efficiency. So what do they say? You need 0.13 hours, no? 0.13, right? 0.13, that into how many? 24,000. Actually, they used how many hours, people? This many hours, no? 116 to 24. How much is that? 116 to 24. That's 3,840. How much is this? 0.13 into 24,000. So people, I'm looking at, this is the budgeted, this is the actual. So I need to multiply this by the labor rate. What is the labor rate, people? Labor rate is, what do they say? Labor rate, do they tell you? Where's the rate power? Huh? 12, no? 12, yes. 12 power. 12, right? You get this difference and multiply that by 12, you get your variance. Is it adverse or favorable? So 8,640 people, you have used more labor, so therefore this is adverse, right? So same way you can do planning and operational variance, planning and operating variance. So I'll say planning and operating variance. So I'll just copy this whole thing, people. Okay, this is labor efficiency, no? Labor efficiency, right? So originally, you needed only how many minutes, people? 0.13, no? 0.13 hours. 0.13 hours. So total output is 24,000 and the labor rate, budgeted rate is 12. Revised, people, they said that you're going to need 10 minutes to do the, what do you call, sewing because of the new design. So how much is that? 10 divided by 60? 10 divided by 60. That's 0.167, people. So I'll say 0.167 hours, 24,000. So people, this is definitely adverse. Definitely adverse, right? Planning variance is adverse. Are we clear? So let me get the answer. 24,000 multiplied by 0.13 hours, that into 12. 37,400. This one, 24,000 into 0.167 into 12. Right? This is adverse. This one, so how many hours did we actually work, people? 3,840. 3,840 multiplied by 12. 3,840 multiplied by 12. So we are actually, getting a favorable variance. Are we clear, people? Right. If you're getting these values, then your answers are correct. People, I want you to show your answer in this way because it's very less time consuming. Right? Time is the deadliest enemy in the exam. Assess the performance of the production manager, right? People, planning variances arise because of problems in the budget, right? So if you can see, planning variances arise because of the problems in the budget, right? Manager should be held responsible for operating variances, not planning. Keep that in mind. Yeah. So what's happening here? See, blah, blah, blah. So, there is a new, school dress, right? Uniform. So what's happening? They are going to redesign some, girls, whatever, some dress. Who has changed who has made the decision to redesign these people? After a recent review, blah blah blah. So I think it's the board of directors who's making this decision, people, not the production manager. Production manager, he's just in charge of the production. So this design change is happening not because of you, because of some other party. Now they are manufacturing school uniforms, no? So now the school must be telling the manufacturing company, look here, please manufacture the uniforms in this way. Don't use the previous design. So, it's actually coming from an outside party. Your customer is requesting you to make the change. Are we clear? So this design change is not your decision, people, right? It's your customer's decision. So tell that, right? So, there's been a major change in the design of this school dress. The decision is likely to be undertaken by the school, and then the school, you can say the school could be requesting this company to, make the design change and manufacture the uniform. So there you go. Yes, right. So see, new dress requires 2.2 material. Now, is that, people, when you need more material, that means, it's not going to be that good, right? You're needing more material, that's not good. So your cost is going to go up. But is that your fault? No. So this meters going up, it's not your fault, right? So you need more meters because of the design only, right? You're getting new material. The cost is now 2.85, which is 5% cheaper than the material used on the previous test. So you're getting cheap material now, right? You're getting cheap material. So, that can have an impact on the sewing people, right? So you're getting cheap material, right? Cheap, clothing items. So that can, you're saving money on material, but when you use cheap material, your production process gets a bit, disturbed, no? It won't be as smooth as before, right? Keep that in mind. So people now, actual production 24,000, budgeted is 30,000. So you're way off the budget, people, right? Way off the budget. So that is also not good. That is also not good. So I think there is a major now. Production manager is responsible for all purchasing and production issues. Okay. People. So, now we should be able to figure out, the factors that we need to consider when evaluating that manager's performance. Now, this material, usage, the planning variance completely, should be taken off from the manager's performance evaluation, because this 2.2 meters is, happening not because of the manager, because of the school. He should not be held responsible, but he should be responsible for the overall meters that he used, right? So see, this is the revised meters. Now the manager should not be responsible for this, but he should be responsible for these people, right? This guy ended up using 54,560 meters. My goodness, that's bad. So meaning, I don't think, so blah, blah, blah. See, meant that complicated new sewing technique, so you ended up using 54,000 meters, probably because you're buying cheap material. There you go. See, link things, people. So you ended up using more material, probably because it's cheap. Yeah. You should, hold the manager responsible for that, right? He could have used a low, high quality material and used like less meters, but this bugger is using cheap material. Right? When you use cheap material, you need to put a lot of cheap material into the output, people. That is the normal understanding, right? People, in that way, you can write something, right? Do you understand that? Do you get my point? People, are you clear? Are you clear? Do you get my, you catch my drift, people? Right? So write short sentences, right? Observe the case and come up with basic answer points. No need to write anything fancy. No need to think of this as a big deal. No, right? What's on the surface, you comment. Are we clear? Right? Yeah. So I'm not going to give you a detailed answer, people. I'm sure you understand how to write the answer. So the answers are there anyway on my Excel sheet. You can unhide the, the cells and see for yourself, people. Are we clear? Right. So with this, people, I want to finish off my discussion on variances. Right? I didn't do sales mix and quantity, but sales mix and quantity is very similar to material mix and yield, right? So do this question that I have attached into this paper, people, right? Into this Excel sheet. I want you to do it on your own later before the exam, right? Now let's do this question, people. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. So let's do this now. Before I, before doing this question, people, let's talk exam strategy. Right. So what are the things that you need to do and you should not do during the next 1.5 weeks, people? Right. You should always look at questions, not theory. Right. No point looking at the study text. No point looking at whatever the notes that you received from the lecturer. No point. Always look at questions. Now, how do you look at questions? Look at the areas that are tested in your papers, right? So what they test in section C is mainly variances, performance analytics, and transfer pricing, right? So now think performance analytics. So you have performance analytics of companies. Yeah, that's your normal variance analysis. And then performance analytics of divisions. That's RI, ROI. And then NFPI, performance analytics of not-for-profit organizations. Yes. And then performance evaluation of service providing organizations, right? So now within these, during these revision classes, people, with the limited amount of time that we had, I tried to look at as many as key areas, that are tested in your paper. And I did that, people, right? So if you're not like, if you can't remember, okay, ratio analysis, okay, how many ratios are there? 4 types of profitability, like that. Okay, 4. So how to do a question? How is it tested? If you can't remember, quickly go to the exam kit, take one question, do it, right? Okay. If you can't remember, if you don't know the answer, if you can't remember the ratio, go back to your handout, look at the ratio, again to the question, right? That is how you need to do questions in this during the next 1.5 weeks, people, right? Okay, so like that, you do it for performance analytics, you do it for variances, you do it for transfer pricing. Yeah. So now I know that you can't study, all day, every day, like, 24 hours, being seated on your ass. It doesn't work like that, right? So, now within the next, whatever, 1.5 weeks, make sure to answer section C questions, as many as section C questions as possible, right? Now, I know you don't have the time to write answers in full. That's okay, right? That's fine. At least jot the answers down, like quickly type the answers in point form. Do the working, right? I want you to show the working. So now, for example, let's say you can't remember, performance analytics of, let's say, balance scorecard. Balance scorecard can be tested in section C, right? Quickly go to the exam kit, take one balance scorecard related question, do it, right? Time it, people. Don't take like a lot of time. Take 1 hour, right? try to do the question, as much as possible. After like an hour, so you're tired, stop it, right? And then check the answer, look at the answer, right? Look at the comments, right? And then you take a break, right? Another question. Don't take that long to answer questions, people, because you only have 1.5 weeks now, right? Okay. So like that you do for section C, people. Let's say you can't, for example, you can't remember RI, right? Quickly do a question on ROI, RI both, right? Do everything on Excel, people, not on the book. So you should throw away the books, right? Don't keep them near you. You can have some scratch, you can have a few, what do you call, working papers, as in uh, 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 whatever, a scratch pad to do the workings. That's enough. You can't show the answers in your book anymore. Don't do that. Right. So that section C, that's done. Okay. Then section B, right? In section B, people, they can test like majority of the syllabus is tested in section B only, right? So you have linear programming, you have cost volume profit analysis, you have all those costing techniques. My goodness, right? So go through the handouts, the notes that you receive from your lecturer, right? Look at each of those handouts. I'm not asking you to read them, right? Go through them, skim through them. ABC. Check if you can remember the basics of ABC. Okay, this is how we do it. Cost pool, cost per driver, like that. If you can't quickly do a question, that's enough, right? You don't have to do a question in full, people, right? Sometimes you might not remember like small parts. Now, for example, in throughput accounting, you might not know how to calculate the throughput accounting ratio. So what's the solution? Quickly do a full throughput related question, right? Life cycle costing. Can't remember the concept? You do a question, right? Budgeting. So you have zero-based budgeting, that budgeting, rolling budgeting, different types of budgeting. You can't remember? Quickly look at the section B question, right? No theory, people. You cannot look at theory, right? You can't read the notes and wait. Don't do that, right? I'll give you time to do that, but not in the next whatever, 5 to 6 days. Yeah. So people, I'm asking you to do a mental, exercise, people. So you just chill and wait, and you think, okay, if you can't remember the chapters, you look at the study text. Okay, in the first chapter, specialist costing techniques. What were the items, main things that we learned? ABC, throughput accounting, and then we had life cycle costing, target costing, environmental management accounting. So you can't remember what EMA is. That's okay. Quickly go to the note, have a look at it. That's fine. Right? Second chapter. Second chapter was cost volume profit analysis. No, right. So you have multi-product break-even analysis. Can't remember what that is. That's okay. Quickly look at a question. Right? Lesson number 3, linear programming, limiting factors. Can't remember? Quickly do a question. In linear programming, you have a hell of a lot, people, right? Maximizing contribution, minimizing cost, shadow prices, slacks, right? Optimal, point, feasible region, ISO contribution line, ISO cost line. So if you can't remember those, quickly do a small question to refresh your memory. Are you clear? Yeah. And then next question, next part, pricing. So MR equals MC. Do a simple question. That's it. Like that, people, I want you to do a revision of those areas. People, 1.5 weeks is more than enough for you to do that. That's more than enough, right? If you do 2 section B questions from 2 different areas and 1 section C question, people, you can finish the entire syllabus in 3 to 4 days, right? Okay, so in the last 3 days, people, that's when you read theory. Last 3 days, right? So let's say your exam is in 2 days from now. Today you look at those first couple of chapters, information systems, all that, basic narrative chapters, people, right? The executive information system, big data, what is data, characteristics of information, all that, basic stuff. You look at them 3 days prior to the exam. Let's say you don't know what I'm talking about right now. You're like, oh my God, sir, what is that chapter? I don't even know what you're talking about. No need to panic. Look at them now. 1 day is enough, people. Well, no, not 1 day. What the hell? 2 hours is enough, right? 2 hours is enough for you to go through that. Yeah. So that, yes. Oh my God, yes. So if you want to, my handout basically has the essential things, right? The essential things, that you must know, right? But come on, how many handouts? 16 handouts, no? Can you remember all of them? Not possible. Not possible. If you can solve it, but a normal human being can't, right? So what do? Just get an idea, right? Let's say you come across an area that you don't know, right? You haven't tried any question from that area, no, nothing. You're like scared. Oh my God, now what to do? Sir didn't even look at this in class. Now what should I do? People, I haven't, there isn't an area like that I haven't touched upon, right? I have touched upon, I have talked about all the key things, key, areas that are tested in the paper. But let's say, for somewhat unfortunate reason, you come across an area like that. Don't panic, right? Read on it, right? There are no new numerical calculations in your syllabus that I have not looked at, people. I have looked at everything, right? So in the exam paper, sometimes you might get like brand new questions, one or two, brand new one or two questions, people, that you might not know how to answer. Like, no, the approach will be very different, right? You'll have to, like, I don't know. Now, you have to expect new things in the exam. Don't expect your paper to be very easy, people. Expect the worst friggin' paper, like in the history of PM, in this March. You prep your mentality like that, right? You have studied, you are well prepared, you can get a difficult paper, you can do something, right? I have the knowledge, I know stuff, I can answer the questions. Not perfectly, but manageable, right? That is the level of confidence that you should have, people, right? I don't want you to target, like, have unrealistically high targets in your head, right? It's always good to have a target, right? Solid. You work for that target. I like that. But don't have very unrealistic targets, right? Okay. So you do your best, right? I know you guys have put in so much effort in the last, few months for this course. People, it will pay you. It will pay off for sure, right? Have that level of confidence. And one day before the exam, people, my advice: don't look at anything. Just chill and wait. Don't do anything. Just, like, you sit, you watch a movie, or you read a book, right? I don't know how you spend your day before the exam, people, right? Don't start doing questions, numerical ones. Don't ever do that, right? Because you can get so confused, like, and you'll start to panic, and then, game over. Yeah. Chill and wait, right? If you want, you can go through notes and, just do something. Whatever that you do, make sure that they're light workings, not like, hard ones. Don't keep everything for last, people. Within the next whatever 6 to 7 days, you do that question, section C, section B. Section A, once you read those two areas, people, first two areas, do whatever the MCQs, in the exam kit related to those chapters. Are we clear? That should be enough, right? Remember, people, time is the deadliest enemy, right? So you need to manage your time. Most of the people come down in this subject because they fail to manage time, people. right? So you do your section A and section B very fast, right? Do you understand that? You do them very fast, people. Keep at least 1.5 hours for your section C, right? If you can keep 1.5 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes, people, that will be more than enough, right? Remember, so you get 3 hours, 15 minutes, 3 hours, 15 minutes. So in minutes, people, you're looking at 180, 195 minutes altogether, right? 195 minutes altogether. Your paper is how much? 100 marks. So per mark, how many minutes can you allocate, people? 1.9, no? So 195 minutes divided by 100. So per mark, you can spend around 1.9 minutes, people. That's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, yeah. Right. So you can understand for that section B, question where you get 5 questions, people. So 2 marks each, 2 into 10, 2 into 5, that's 10 marks. So 10 marks means maximum 20 minutes, people. That's it. So you should be able to finish off those 2 section B questions within 40 minutes. Yeah. People, you'll be able to complete, section B in less than 40 minutes for sure. Right? So now come section C, that's where you have to actually tie yourself up, right? So section C, you need to properly allocate your time, right? Let's say you get stuck in a question, people. You get stuck in a question. Yeah. I've told you, the bigger the question, the easier it is, people, right? Don't get scared if you get like big ass questions. The bigger the question, the easier it is. Yeah. So this looks like a big question, people, but it's not. It's so simple, right? But you have a hell of a lot to read, so you need to spend time on reading. Well, at the end of the day, people, now, for example, this is 20 marks. So maximum time that you can spend is 40 minutes, right? But I'm asking you to take like 45, 50 minutes. But you can take 45 to 50 minutes only if you finish section A, section B within like 1 hour and 20 minutes. Are we clear? Yeah. Okay. People, don't start with section C. Don't start with section C. Yeah. Start with section A, section B, and then section C. It's not the other way around. Okay. For section C, you have to have time, right? You have to have brain capacity for you to think, right? Do you understand that? So within that 1 hour, 20 minutes, try to finish off your section A, section B. Now, if you can't answer them, you flag them, you come back to them later. But make sure to, answer those MCQs, people, right? Don't leave anything unanswered, right? If you don't know the answer, right, just close your eyes and pick something, right? Right? I'm just joking, people. My point is, don't leave anything unanswered. If you don't know what the answer is, then use the elimination method, right? Remove the answers that can't be the answer, right? Then you'll end up with like 2 choices. You select whatever the most appropriate, like that. Yes. Must do's, must not do's. I've explained everything. Don't get stuck, right? For 9 marks, people, for this question, what you need to spend is like 18 minutes. Sorry, 9 into 2, yeah, 18 minutes. After that, you should like go to this. Let's say you get stuck here. We're like, okay, half an hour, still no. People, leave it, answer the second question. Right? Do not get stuck in a question. Our mentality in the exam, in a pressurized like situation, works in such a way, right? Like when you're stuck in a question, your mind will say, okay, somehow do this, I'll take 2 more minutes, I'll do this, I'll complete this, right? Then I'll answer this. People, your mind will not let you move on to part B, right? That's how our mentality works. Your mind will not let you go to part B, people. It will tell you, do this, finish this, finish this, right? Control yourself and then move on to part B, people. Don't get stuck, right? That's our psychology, people. That's how our psyche works in a exam situation, people. Yeah, right. Okay. Not going to talk about psychology and all that crap, people. I hope you got the point. Yeah. Sadly, yes. Evening 5:30, whatever. Right. That's okay. It depends on the time that that you. But then I think you have one stand time slot, no? One standard time slot. Yeah, that's how this works now. Anyway, people, don't be scared, right? Just because you get a big ass question, it doesn't mean that you're going to fail. Huh? Bigger the question, the easier it is. Right? That's how it is, people. That's how the examiner compensates. He asks you to read a lot. He knows that you're going to spend a lot of time reading this. So therefore, he cuts down the difficulty of the question. There you go. Right? That way he balances. Okay? So just because you see like a very big question or a very small question, don't panic. Okay? Read and answer. Okay? Right. Any questions that you have to ask people before we move on to this particular question? Any questions? Hmm? Right. Okay, brilliant. People, now I want you to go through the question. Yeah. No problem, Abdul. Yeah, this is just an exam, guys. Yeah, please don't worry. This is not life. You know, these are exams. Anyone can pass exams, people. Anyone. Just because you come down in an exam, it doesn't mean that you're stupid, that you're dumb. Just because someone scores like 90 and you score, 30, doesn't mean that you're dumb. No, hell no. Right? Exams don't measure your success. Are we clear? Right? But you're spending money for this, might as well put the maximum effort and get through it. Finish it off. Okay, right. People, please read the question carefully and then answer part A. I'll give you 20 minutes. 20, yeah? Not long. Right. Okay. Now, right. This is one long question, people. So I'm gonna summarize the information in the question in this way. So you all can see, right? Under the current transfer pricing system, prepare a profit statement showing the profit for each division, and for PGC as a whole, your sales cost should split into external, internal, right? People, now PGC, this company has two divisions. Division A is selling to Division B, right? Internal selling price is 30. External selling price is 15. Division B is selling only to external parties. The selling price is 180. These are the variable costs, right? These are the variable cost of Division A. Division A, remember, they're selling to both outside customers and Division B, right? See, external selling price is 15, internal selling price is 30. Are we clear? Right. People, total sales, external and internal, both together is 250. Maximum demand by external parties is 200,000. Are we clear? So if the total sales are 350 and the maximum demand by external customers is 200,000, division A can provide only 150,000 to the other party. Do you get that? Right? So people, things like that have to click in your head, people. Division A, see, maximum current capacity and sales 350. Out of that, 200 is for external market. So 150 is the amount that they can supply to this party, Division B, right? So here, maximum demand is 180. Their sales are 150, right? So their sales depend on, the supplies that are made by Division A. Okay, so no big deal. Current transfer price, people, there you go. Based on current transfer price and the information given, this is how your answer should look like, right? So internal sales, there you go. Now, people, I want you to understand something. They're talking about some battery, right? People, when you properly read this question, you get so confused, right? So what you need to highlight is this. What you need to know, it's a company. They have two divisions, right? Division B and Division A, right? So now you need to figure out who's selling to whom. Division A sells, right? No. See, Division B, blah, blah, blah. So here Division B currently buys from Division A. So Division A is selling to B. People, they are talking about all kinds of some technical information here, which you don't really need to focus on. In a question, there can be a lot of unnecessary information, people. This is a classic example for that. So B is selling one product, right? So they are selling portable battery for chargers, right? That's enough. Division A sells adapters, right? Used to charge mobile phones, laptops, right? Okay. So this is the information that you need to focus on, not this, right? When you read this, people, you get so confused, and you don't read this, you get so tired, right? Okay. There you go, blah, blah, blah. Division A incurs a variable cost of, right? Variable cost of $1 per adapter for all adapters it sells external, right? Purchasing policy, Division B to purchase adapters from Division A, but Division A has refused to sell to Division B, right? There you go. Manager of B is unhappy. He has a special industry contact, blah, blah, blah. So which from who he could buy the adapters from at exactly the same price charged by Division A if he was given autonomy, right? So Division B manager, I don't think he has freedom to make purchases from outside the group. After discussions with both divisional managers to ensure that managers are not demotivated, head office has now agreed to change purchasing policy to allow B to buy externally, provided that it optimizes the profits of the group. Now, people in transfer pricing, remember, there is the buying division, the selling division, and the parent, the main company. The main company will not want any of these two companies to buy from other parties, because then the money is going out of the group, right? The company will try to keep the money within the group. So they will always ask division A to supply to division B and division B to buy from division A. The company will not let division B to buy from other parties, division A to buy from other parties. Are we clear? Right. The profit statement is very basic, people, but so you're selling 200 externally, 150 internally. So internal price is 13, external price is 15. Done. Right? Here you're selling only to external parties. Very simple. There you go. Sales, total sales, done. Variable cost, people, material, very simple. Labor, very simple. Right? So payments to A, remember, so B is paying division A, how much? 13. So the sales internal has to be a cost to division B, people. Selling cost, remember, they say selling cost is arisen only when you sell externally. So you need to multiply that $1 by 200,000 units. That's why 1 by 200. Variable cost is this, blah, blah, profit 100. There you go. Are we clear, people? Are we clear? So this is my profit to division A, division B. Very, very basic. Are we clear? Okay. Now, part B, right? Assuming that the new group purchasing policy will ensure optimization of group profits, calculate and discuss the number of adapters which B should buy from A and the number of adapters which A should sell to external customers. Now, assuming group policy will ensure optimization of group profits, right? So you have to always come up with a transfer price that maximizes the group profit, right? Not the divisional profit. Your question will always be worded in that way, people. Okay? Your examiner will always ask you to come up with the transfer price that maximizes the entire group profit, not one individual division. Are we clear? Right. So now you need to start analyzing, people. Right? Okay. People, do you see that now division B, right? Division B is buying from division A, right? Do you see that they have a demand of 180,000, but they are selling only 150 now? Why is that? They are selling only 150 because the other party, division A, is supplying only 150 to division B. If division A can supply 180, then division B can fully satisfy the demand. But why are they not supplying? Because if division A supplies more than 150, that means division A has to sell less to external customers and sell more to the internal party. Divisional manager of A will never like to do that, right? Divisional manager of A will never want to sell to B, right, by sacrificing sales of external customers. Why is that? See, internal selling price is low. People, do you see that by just looking at the information, you can come up with a, sensible answer? So if you are to supply to this party, right? If you are to supply to this party more than 150, then you're going to have to charge what? Opportunity cost. There you go. See, people, now Now you can do the working people, right? You have to explain all this, right? You have to explain all this. There is an opportunity cost. If they want to sell, if division A has to sell to B, right? If it's a must, then division A has to charge division B the opportunity cost, right? Because you're losing sales. You don't sell to them, you sell to this party. When you sell to this party, there is a loss of contribution of how much? See, loss of sales of 2. Do you understand that? Right? Now talk about division B. Now division B has the ability to, right, get this balance 30,000 units from another party at the same price, 15, right? At the same price, 30. But if division B starts buying from the other party, then money is going to go out of the group. Are we clear, people? In that way, you have to come up with a simple answer like this, people. So whatever that I explained is nicely explained here, people. Are we clear? People, do you think you can understand the analysis? Now, in the exam, to process everything in your head within 40 minutes is going to be insanely difficult. It is going to be difficult. Right? Some questions will be easy, some questions will be hard. My point is this: come up with a sensible answer. Right? Sensible answer, people. Let's say you don't know what to calculate here. You don't know how to calculate. That's okay. That's completely fine. You explain. This is what must be done. Opportunity cost. Then it should be charged. But when you charge opportunity cost, will the other party want to pay that? The other party is willing to pay only 30, right? So see, like that, you need to build up an argument, people. Are we clear? So people, I'm not going to give you the answers for part B and C. My point is this, right? Visualize the question in your head. Are we clear? Visualize the question. So now when you get a transfer pricing question, people, in the exam, now you can't do all this in the paper. Not possible, right? Not as in you can't do all this in your Excel sheet. So do this in your scratch pad. People, this will make it so easy for you to come up with the answer. Are we clear? Are we clear, people? I will share this answer with you. So these are all my points, people. My point is this. You need to identify, now in a transfer pricing question, you need to identify who's selling to whom, how many units, variable cost, fixed cost. That's it. And the capacity. That's all, people. The other information is useless. Right now, here they're saying unhappy, blah, blah, blah. That is somewhat relevant, people. So when you come up with the answer, you need to use them. Right? So in the exam, people, if you get a transfer pricing question, I want you to do this, like, see, on your scratch pad, so that you don't have to keep looking at the question over and over again. Now, I know I didn't give you enough time to do this. That's fine, people. I mean, you can't, right? Now, we will need, if we are to do this properly, I need at least 1 hour to do this, people. 1 hour, but I'm not going to drag the class today, people. Hell no. I drag the class every day for the past 3 weeks, but not today. Right? Okay, so this is where I stop, people. Okay, I want you to do this and also the other question, CTD. Right? So do a small working like this, and then see if you can see how far you can get, people. Right? Now, I've given you an idea, right? So, maybe tomorrow, if you're tired, not today, tomorrow, you take 1 hour, quickly do one of these, and then look at the answer. Come up with your own analysis, people. Don't look at the examiner's answer. Don't look at the examiner's answer. Remember, if you write something relevant, if you write something appropriate, you get marks. This is not an academic paper, people. Now, in academic papers, you need to write whatever that is, there in the book, like, the theory. Here, there is no theory. You need to talk practical. You need to be very sensible, very practical, right? One last piece of advice, people: do not leave anything unanswered. Write something, right? For 6 marks, now some questions will be there, you will not know what to write, but still write something, right? Write something that is appropriate. You don't start with the case study, you start with the requirement. These are basic things, people. You know them already, right? Time is the deadliest enemy. Manage the time properly, right? If you can finish all questions within 3 hours, people, that's one massive achievement. But it's very difficult to do that, right? It's very difficult. So whatever the time that is given, use it to the fullest. Use it very wisely, very efficiently, very effectively. Okay, this is just an exam, people, not your life, right? You can pass, no one's gonna fail, right? I'm not saying that, but this is just an exam. So have that, keep that in your mind. For the last, for the past, the next, whatever, 1.5 weeks, I told you what you need to do and what you shouldn't do. Stick to those, right? That will be enough, people. Okay, any questions before we wind up, people? Any questions? I'll share this. Any questions? Any questions? Hilma, Abdul, Shuaib, Udani, and you. No questions. Right. Okay, brilliant. I'll share the answers. Have a look, but please try them on your own. Focus on transfer pricing, focus on variances, focus on balance scorecard. The others, you know them, you can answer them. If you can't remember linear programming, look at a question. Cost, volume, profit analysis, look at a question. Pricing, you look at a question. Don't look at any theory, people. You should, like, always do whatever that's there in the exam kit, not theory. Yeah, right. Okay, people. So with that, we'll finish. Thank you very much. Wish you the best. Don't worry. Just have that confidence. You're all ready, people. Right? You can ace the exam. I am 100% sure and confident that you guys are going to get through this paper. Right? Have that level of confidence, people. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. No problem, Ilma. Right. If you have any doubts, let me know. Right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Good night. Wish you all the very best. Right. Yeah. Pleasure's all mine, Abdul. Solid.